choosing to end one's own life, which is a huge topic. And on the one hand, probably naturalists are much more willing to let people choose to end their own life than a lot of religious people are. On the other hand, if what we have to offer by the way of meaningfulness is mattering to other people, then how much should it matter what the other people think versus the individual's right to end their own life? Does anyone have strong feelings about this?
You know I have strong feelings,
Yeah, I know,
because
that's a
we
leading
discussed it
question.
in the car, so I'll hold off, since you know my
I
vote.
did a paper a few years ago, sort of mischievous paper, called Whole Body Apoptosis.
Whole body.
Whole body apoptosis. The idea was, you ask people, would you prefer to die a lingering death in a hospital or be struck by lightning? Everybody says, I'd rather be struck by lightning. So then the question is, could that be arranged? This was for a journal that it was called Homo sapiens 2.0. The idea was to describe some improvement to Homo sapiens that A, you would endorse, and B, you would undergo yourself if it was made technologically feasible in the near future. And my choice was whole body apoptosis. This is the idea of arranging for people to die by lightning strikes, by which I mean you have a device, various technological ways, just to give you one. A device is implanted in you, at birth if you're a little kiddo or now, which you can't get into it to see what date is on. And what it does is it's set to go off at some unpredictable time between your, let's say, 85th and 90th birthday. And as soon as you enter that period, you're sort of lame duck. You don't know. You could die at any time. Oh, and one little improvement was you get a 10-minute warning. This is so you can get off the highway, pull up your pants, call your kids, whatever,
Dismiss the mistress,
get out the window, honey, whatever. So, but the point that was the main point of this, which no matter how hard I stressed it, a lot of people didn't get, is a lot of people wanted to be able to control it. And I said, no, that's the whole point. The thing is, the unexamined life isn't worth living, but as Kurt Beyer once memorably said, the over-examined life is nothing to write home about either. And you don't want the state, your heirs, your friends, or yourself making quality of life judgments about you. You want it to come out of the blue with a 10-minute warning. That's the ideal way to go. Now we could, technologically we could do it. Politically, could we do it? That's a hard one because I wouldn't impose this on anybody.
But you would do it yourself?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
Why do you like that better than simply allowing yourself to make that determination for yourself?
Because your judgment will be clouded, and clouded sufficiently that you will make the wrong decision. As people get old, they hold on to life no matter what its quality is because of adaptive expectations.
That's only a part of it. The reason that I would do this is I don't want my family and friends and society sort of looking at their watches and looking at me and thinking, don't you think it's about time for you to decide? I don't want the quality of my life to be the thing I have to think about all the time. I don't want to think about the quality of my life now and what the quality of my life is going to be next year. I want to just go ahead and live until I die.
Yeah, you've got to have an exponential decay. You can't have between 80th and 90th birthday. The eve of your 90th birthday, you're going to know.
Well, that's fine.
Exponential decay from
It's actually easier to arrange anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
Can we just take a vote? How many people would have Dan's device implanted in them?
How many people what?
Have
Dan
dance.
has a device that will kill you at a random moment, painlessly.
You have a 10-minute.
I don't want it.
So it's about half and half. Some people would do
All right,
it.
well,
I have heirs I want to suffer.
I would
have heirs
give
I wanna
Dan or
suffer.
any of those people their right to have that device if they would give me the right to exercise free will and end my life whenever I wanted to in
but
a
of
painless
course,
way.
that goes without
would
saying.
you? Great,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always,
be from him.
That's
I always allow people, you can kill yourself anytime you want to. But if you haven't done it by age 85, this process takes over and takes out of your hands and out of your heirs' hands and out of the state's hands. The main thing is, if you haven't already made a quality of life judgment and popped yourself off, this will be done without a quality of life judgment, and that saves you from having to either think about it or stop everybody else from thinking about it.
But Dan, I mean, I don't like your number, okay? So my grandmother just turned
Okay.
101, and, at 96, she called me up, she's like, I quit smoking,
Well, one of the
And she voted for Obama.
one of the implications of the view, and I bring it out very clearly, is you have to set the timing on this early enough so that if all goes well, you die in your prime.
Yeah.
That, yes,
What do you mean, a few
the
years ago?
price, the price you pay,
26.
the price you pay for not lingering and getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse is that you're willing to risk lopping some good years off your life. So you're right, that's part of
But
the
you make the
bargain.
same point about paraplegics have the highest quality of life. I mean, now you're saying that somebody that's getting old can't come to that same resolution, that maybe they can come to terms with their debility and have a good quality
Yeah, I'm
of
sorry, my
life.
101-year-old grandmother is ready to go, but she only, she's very compos mentis. That's a real advantage, right? That she's
Yeah.
completely functional cognitively.
Is
And-
she
and
your
in fact,
only aged relative?
Yes.
Ah.
But she lives alone, and until I'd say a month ago, unassisted. So
Yeah.
it's only since the month or so that she's been assisted that there's been a sense of like, I'm really totally done. But I mean, if the mind goes, I guess you can worry about the judgment. But if the mind doesn't go, I mean, it doesn't always have to
Okay.
be catastrophically before the body.
Absolutely true. There are a lot of people that are centenarians with full active lives. There are many, many more people whose last years are dismal, dreary. They are a terrible burden to themselves and their families. They're suffering, and there's nothing we can do about it.
To be clear, you are making this a voluntary insertion of the device, are you
Yeah.
not? Just to be clear.
Although
It sounds like you'd like to see a lot of people do it.
might
So
be
I just want to be clear that you're going to let me decide. I frankly, not only would I like the right to give myself the stuff that you can't buy over the counter, by the way, I think you should be able to, I would give a majority vote in this room the right to kill me if I become a burden to society.
I
I
certainly
I'd
would
do
not
that.
do that.
Maybe not this group, but
Not
I
this
would,
group.
a rational group that believes in morality and things like that.